I should have weeded. I thought, oh, I'm gonna see what my messages are, and I think, oh.
Okay, the streets, traffic, and refuse hearing will be called to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Moore, Alderwoman Murphy,
Here?
Alderman Coder,
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Here.
Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Martin,
Here.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Chairman Boyd,
Present.
President Reed. You have 5 present, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, first board bill up is Board Bill 49, sponsored by Alderman Roddy, will be handled by Alderman Coulter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Alderman Roddy asked me to handle this. And full disclosure, the developer working on this project is a client of my firm, so I'll be abstaining from the vote. I think I can provide some background on the bill. And David Robert from Midas Hospitality is also here with some renderings and to answer any questions. What this is basically a vacation of a portion of Forest Park Parkway, not the drive lane, not the actual street. It is a 7-foot by 200-something foot section along the front of the building. If you turn to the last page, which includes the map, you can kind of see the lines. Basically, you've got the alley in the rear, which is the top of the page, and then on the bottom of the page, that hashed section is what's going to be vacated. It's right now just grassy area. Midas, and David's got pictures he can pass around, is basically going to redo the whole streetscape. And part of their foundation, their building will go underground, and they want to make sure they own that in fee simple. So this has gone through the Board of Public Service, been approved by streets and all the various utilities that sign off on these things. Does not impact the roadway. All the sidewalks will be redone. And so that's basically it.
Is it going to have this Mercedes parked there? Do you know?
Wait,
I
hold
can't-
up,
Is that
hold up,
mine?
hold up,
It's Jack's
hold
car.
up.
Somebody's got my car.
Hold up. Go ahead, Alderman.
No, that's really all we've got, and David can answer any questions you have, or I can do my best to as well.
Okay, why don't we go around and now,
And sorry, I should say the project is an Element Hotel. This is the site of the old, it was the Habitat for Humanity headquarters for many years. Habitat has moved south, I believe into Shane's Ward,
Yes.
into their new facility. Midas Hospitality purchased the building. That Habitat had been, I guess, were they renting, or were you just
We gave it to them
giving
for a
them
year.
space for a year, until their space was done being built? So they have moved. That building will be demolished, and this building will be built in its place. And how many keys is this, David?
152.
152 key Element.
David, if you don't mind, would you go ahead and take a seat right
Yes,
there to
sure.
Alderman Coulter?
Rooftop amenities, and this is actually in the SLU. It's the first project in the SLU 353 that many of you may remember from. Was that last session when we passed that?
2 sessions.
2 sessions ago? Okay, 2 sessions ago. Time flies.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy.
No questions, no questions.
Okay, Alderman Boyd.
No, I'm trying to grasp a hold of all of this.
Would you like Alderman Coulter to explain?
No, I'm just,
The reason we're asking for a few feet in front is because if we push the building back, we wanted the building up against the street, which is what everybody likes. And then if we push the building back, it would impact our parking, and we would lose parking. And also, there's an alley behind us. If we push the building back, it affects the slope, and fire trucks would not have access to the back of our building.
Alderman Martin.
No questions.
Okay, so just so that I'm clear, so we're vacating the curb line.
Not even to the curb line. The vacation doesn't even go to, if you look on this little, on the drawing on the last page, you'll see where, like, on the farthest southern portion, it says like grass. Like we're not even vacating all the way to the curb. But all that sidewalk will get redone at Midas's expense. So they're gonna redo all the sidewalk, but you're only vacating about a 7-foot long portion. So Forest Park's obviously a wide street to begin with, and then once you get off the street, the road technically continues, north and south. And so we're just vacating what is now a grassy portion before the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
It's on the outside of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
so
okay.
you're extending the sidewalk?
We'll redo the sidewalk. The sidewalk goes back basically in the same place, but we're just asking for space between the sidewalk and our building so that we can have space for our foundations underneath, because our foundations would go underneath they're spread out wider than the building is.
I thought generally we do own that space from that's not public right away from the sidewalk to our front door.
Well, in this instance, I mean, it's just the old, I mean, I guess it would depend on the street, but on this particular, on Forest Park,
Okay.
technically the right-of-way
Is up.
extends that
Wow,
far,
okay.
even though it's not,
So
it hasn't
it's a
been
wide
street.
right of way there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. David, remind me, we heard this in HUD's already, didn't we?
you may have,
I don't believe this project
Okay.
came to HUD's, because this would have gone through the 353.
Okay, it
This-
seemed
this
like I
loop-
remember someone talking about the element. Maybe I'm thinking of a different project. Okay, but I don't have any more questions. I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 47.
I move we pass. Board
I'm
Bill-
sorry, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 49.
49.
I move we pass, Board Bill 49 with the due pass recommendation.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Moore, Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Abstain.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Chairman Boyd,
Aye.
President Reed. You have 4 aye votes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Board Bill 49 comes out of committee with due pass recommendation. Next
There you
Board
go.
Bill
Thank
up
you, Chairman.
before us is now Board Bill 47.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
sponsored by Alderman Bosley, will be presented by Alderman Collins Muhammad.
thank you.
I'm coming back.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, committee. Board Bill 47 is a real simple board bill, real clear language. He is changing a one-way street into a two-way street. While this is not my ward, I do know that his neighborhood association, which works in conjunction with neighborhood associations in my ward, has requested for this change. So Alderman Bosley would appreciate if you all would pass Board Bill 47 now with a due pass recommendation.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy.
No questions. Usually it's the other way around. They want to make a two-way street into a one-way. This is, and I know where Sullivan is. My husband grew up there. So no questions. It's fine with me. It's his ward, as they say.
Okay, Alderwoman Boyd.
No question.
I'm sorry, you said no questions?
questions.
Okay, Alderwoman Martin.
No questions.
Okay. I'm just kidding, I know you said you don't know a whole lot of it, but the 3200 block of Sullivan, how far does that go? Is this gonna cul-de-sac some kind of way? What's the purpose of changing the
So
street, do
it's
you
in
know?
between Vandeventer and Grand, that 3200
Okay,
block,
okay. So the rest of the street, the 100 blocks will remain a one-way?
main one way.
Okay,
So from Vandeventer going west, it's a one-way stretch.
okay,
From Grand going east, it's a one-way stretch. So from Grand to Vandeventer is only two-way intersection.
okay. Alderman Coder, we're talking about Board Bill 47, changing from a one-way to a two-way, Sullivan, 3200 block. Any
Great,
questions?
no questions.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 47.
I move that we pass Board Bill 47 with a due pass recommendation.
Previous roll.
Objection.
It's been moved.
Second. Oh, that's
Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Moore, Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook, Chairman Boyd,
Aye.
President Reed. You have 5 aye votes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Board Bill 47 comes out of committee with due pass recommendation. Next Board Bill before us, Board Bill number 63, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, will be presented by Alderman Collins Muhammad.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Board Bill number 63 is very similar to the previous board bill sponsored by Alderman Bosley. It is redirecting traffic from one-way streets to two-way streets around his Hyde Park neighborhood.
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy, any
No
questions?
questions.
Alderman Coulter,
No questions.
Alderwoman Boyd,
No questions.
Alderwoman Martin.
No questions, excuse me.
Okay, I guess I'll get a chance to ask the sponsor more questions when it comes to perfection. I'm just curious as to why he's redesigning the traffic patterns. If it's a crime reduction strategy, it's, just curious about that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know that when he originally brought the idea of changing streets from one way to two ways in his ward, he did work in a collaborative effort with the streets division and with the traffic division to see if this was feasible or not. And that's the extent that I know.
I'm like Alderwoman Murphy, it's just kind of odd to change
Usually it's the
a one-way to a two-way. Normally people want two ways to a one-way.
This is all supposed to be about the same traffic. I just checked, you told me 35 on this one was what he introduced before.
Uh-huh.
These are two different plots, and these are all found. He's checked it off from the previous.
Mhm.
So I don't know if he gave me the wrong, that's why I might check my.
But that's different blocks though, that's so.
The Dodiers on the wrong, and the roads are off green. When I looked at the maps, well, I guess we can change it.
Yeah.
All right, go to point.
Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 63.
I move that we pass Board Bill 63 with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved in second.
Previous roll.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 63 comes out of committee with a due pass
Ways
recommendation.
and Means. Okay.
Thank you. The Streets Traffic Refuge Committee is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.